iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.
It's been a lot of fun. We as a cast have a lot of fun. Everyone is so silly, and the show is so silly, and it's been like a wild ride, but a really good one and a really fun one, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think what we have been able to find is just like this really joyful energy on stage every night.
Yes.
And there's a really high level of accountability mixed with fun in a way that I've never experienced. Like this ensemble works so hard, and it makes, I think, the environment feel accountable, and yet there's still a really big sense of play.
I was in the middle of doing Wicked 20th anniversary craziness when I got this audition for Cassandra, and I couldn't do it because I was doing it like an insane amount of press and also doing the show, and so I was like, I'm so sorry, but this looks so fun and I wish I could. So I was lucky enough that Gordon was like, come in for the callbacks, and I didn't even have time to learn Hammer. It was like the next day, and so he's like, just bring a cut of a song. And so I came in with a cut of a song. I learned, I think, 2 or 3 sides, and then came in and read and sang my little cut. And then the next week, I came in and sang Hammer. I put that on tape. And then I found out a couple of days later that I was offered the role, which was really crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah, and that was in, October, November. Yeah.
Yeah, right at the end.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that. That's amazing. Mine is a little different. I've been a part of the production since 2018. Mm-hmm. I did it at the Old Globe, and the audition was so long ago that I honestly don't really remember it. It was like a come in and sing 32 bars or 16 bars of, I think it was Stuck With You.
Probably, right? Yeah.
And then I think there might have been like a page or 2 of a scene, but it wasn't even really, I think maybe it was the scene that we first have together at the Princeton Club, but obviously it was very different then.
Yeah.
But
that's super cool though that you've been with the show and seen it evolved and how it's changed, and like,
yeah,
that's sick.
It's been interesting to see how it has evolved, how the cast has evolved, what story we're telling has evolved, what songs are in the show.
What time period we're in.
We've literally gone back in time. So I think for me, yeah, it feels like such a long, distant dream that whenever I talk about the audition process, I'm like, you never know what audition might lead to what thing, to thing,
so
to thing,
true.
to thing.
So true.
Mm-hmm. Actually, while we were at the Globe, one of the other cast members, actually Lauren Latero, had just had her first daughter.
Oh my gosh.
And there were 2 other cast members who had small children, and that became like the show where my wife and I started talking about like, what are we doing with our lives?
Aww.
What are we? And then soon after, yeah, that's when
That's so sweet.
we made that decision. Yeah, crazy. Honestly, I think it's amazing. It's so bizarre that being around Huey Lewis is normalized. Mm-hmm. You know, like I walked from the stage door through Times Square with him last night, just talking, or yesterday after the matinee, just talking about the show. And by the way, he says you're the MVP. He said that on our walk.
You heard it here first.
And I was like, are you sure maybe the person walking with you through Times Square is not the MVP? But
he's the best. He
he's
really
awesome.
is the best, and I think it's so rare to meet someone like him because he's literally a rock icon, like a legend, but he is so down to earth and fun and kind, and that I feel like doesn't happen all the time with celebrities like that. And he's really just such an amazing human and is so fun to see and to work with.
Yeah, I've never been in a band, but I get the sense of what it would be like with being, and that's his energy that he has with the cast, is he can no longer perform, and therefore he has to expel that creative energy with the team somehow.
Yeah.
And so for us, that becomes being our cheerleader and being our advocate and being a voice backstage with some motivation or notes or whatever it might be, to kind of help us get through the journey all together.
Yeah, it's very special. I knew from our first rehearsal, I was so excited to be working with you because this guy is so funny. You make me laugh all the time just in life, but seeing him play this insane character, and you do it so well. Thank you. So yeah, it's been so fun, and I think we, through the rehearsal process and even through previews and opening, we're still like doing new things and learning new things, and it's great to have a scene partner that wants to like play, and Billy is definitely one of those people. So it's really fun, and finding their relationship has been so fun.
Yeah, ditto everything she just said. I think the sense of play has always felt very palpable between not only us, but everybody in the cast. And I'm trying desperately to get her to laugh on stage, and I have yet to be successful in doing it.
I'm laughing on the inside.
No, I literally was
on
the inside.
No, but I'm laughing, but I'm not gonna get in trouble.
That's what I'm desperately trying to get her in trouble. I'm trying to get her to break. I was talking with Josh about it last night. I was like, I can't figure out how to get this girl to break.
Really?
And I think, but that's what the sense of play that we have, I think, is part of the charm of the characters, at least why he's in her life, is that there's this...
I've laughed at you.
I'm thinking
about it.
I'm sure you have.
Yeah.
But that's like one of my active motivations, is to bring the sense of play and to... I think to make you laugh, as not in the story, just as a person.
Just as us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think with Cassandra, she has her thing. She's a numbers girl. She's like very type A, a little neurotic, some might say, which is really fun to portray physically, and there's definitely a bit of an awkwardness there. So I love that I can maybe bring a little bit of the Anna-esque, of the weird, socially awkward. Like, I think, every character you play, you take a little bit of it with you, and you like mix it into the potion of like making this new character. And so I think with Cassandra, she goes on this journey and gains confidence with the help of Bobby, played by Corey Cott. And by the end, she really like steps into her power and kind of becomes this boss negotiator, and not just all about numbers, and gets some people skills, and like visibly relaxes by the end of the show physically. And so that's fun to portray as well. Tell us.
I think for me personally, it was a very fulfilling endeavor, which is ironic because that's what the whole show is about too. But I played Pippin in high school in my senior year at the One Act in Georgia.
Shout out. We went to high school very close to each other in Georgia. Yeah, we did.
Small world.
Yep.
Almost the same year too.
Yep.
More like same decade.
Keep telling yourself.
But for me, I think I've always had such a deep love for that show, and circus, ironically. So the fact that I got to be a part of that production that combined circus into this beautiful production was really life-changing, and really encountering your own life in the arts every single night, and what the art means to you, and what the relationships in your life mean to you in a very visceral way. And also being surrounded by some of Broadway's best and brightest talent was the most incredible learning experience for me, especially as my Broadway debut, to be working with Patina and with Terry Mann and Charlotte Dembois and Andrea Martin and Rachel Bay Jones. I mean, all of these people who, when you look at them in the eye, they are so present and there for you, and there to take this journey wherever it may go. And that is a lesson that I continue to try and live every single day, not only in the way I work with actors, but also in the way that the show spoke to me as an actor.
No. We've never, maybe I'll throw some lines at you one time and see if we can just like do a little Fiero Glinda scene.
Yeah.
That would be cool. That'd be really weird.
That would be weird.
It'd be so weird. I'm sure you were an amazing Fiero. I have not been blessed with that footage or the pleasure of seeing it in person. I would love to dig that up.
same to all that. I did not have the privilege of seeing you go on, but I've heard amazing things.
Oh, stop.
I'm free sometime.
So I've been consistently doing 8 shows a week now for like almost a year and a half, and so I feel like I've built up some pretty good stamina, and I feel like now I know the show, and I'm like, I know what I need just personally to be able to get through the day and also be able to do the show at night, and sleep obviously is like one of the most important things, and just trying to eat healthy, and I like to walk to work every day, and I also like to take the time to see my friends and like try to get lunch with people, and that's really helpful for mental health and overall well-being. What about you, Billy?
I agree with basically everything you said. I think the physical demands of 8 shows a week is really tough, and especially if you haven't ever done it before, or as you're acclimating to it, that it can really take over your entire existence. So I think what you said about making time for friends, making time for fun, and prioritizing your mental and emotional health outside of the 8 shows a week, I do find makes doing the show easier.
100%.
So I think there are definitely ways that have helped me for each show, knowing physically, whether it be the gym or yoga or some sort of sauna or cryotherapy, whatever it is.
I love a little cryotherapy sauna vibe.
I do. For this show, that's what's working for me. But I think it's knowing what physically you need to make it through 8 shows a week has to be part of your routine, but then also keeping in your orbit the people and the things that make you happy so that the work does not overwhelm you is also majorly important.
It's tough. We'll start with that because it is. But I will say I always tell young students, like, if this is what you're passionate about, you have to throw everything at it and work super hard and take as many classes as you can. Expose yourself to as much theater as you possibly can. Write, create, all of those things. And I think just the more you know and the more you learn and push yourself out of your comfort zone. If dance is not your thing, go take some dance classes. That was my situation. But yeah, it's tough, but it's like it's so worth it, and it's really rewarding in the end.
Yeah, I think being an artist, the best advice that I could give is that you as an artist are never done. I think that's what's most enticing to me about being a professional artist, is that the evolution of what you can do, the skill set that you can approach with your work, and your ability to bring stories to life is constantly evolving, because we are always getting older. There's always new things being produced. There's always new opportunities out there. So I think you have to have a love for personal growth and evolution and the constant seeking of that. It should never be about what shiny gig or shiny show that you're pursuing, but about the personal evolution of what you can get out of each opportunity that's presented to you and how it can continue to speak to what you're able to express.
Nailed it.
Crushed it.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.